Hi everyone, this is Ruben, and today we have a really big update. That's quite a historic occasion. Tomorrow is Sigma's activation, and it's a culmination of like 2 years of work, and we've worked really hard of it, so fingers crossed everything goes well. So just make sure a couple of stuff that you need to do is to make sure that you're on 13.8.2, and please update before the hard fork date. If for whatever reason you update after that, please make sure to re-index your wallet, and you can take a look at this blog post which will let you know how to do everything. So really important, just make sure that you update it just before the hard fork tomorrow. With Z nodes, everything, just make sure they're updated as well. All the exchanges have expressed that they are ready for the hard fork, so we don't expect any sort of unexpected stuff, but yeah, fingers crossed. Now some of you have asked us why we had to come up with 13.8.2 when we had previously released 13.8.1, and we really actually wanted to avoid that, but after a lot of discussion with our team members, we felt it was really important to address that issue. Now just to sort of explain what happened, was there was this Reddit post, it's all public, everyone can see, and it claimed that there was still trusted setup in Sigma protocol, and that's one of the stuff that we really wanted to avoid. I mean, the whole purpose of Sigma protocol, well, one of the main purposes of Sigma was to actually remove the trusted setup. You don't need to trust everyone that set it up. Now this guy called Lord of the Ass Clowns, a really good name, actually pointed out that one of the components that built it up, although to us it's random, he actually said that, well, how do I know that it was generated randomly? Maybe you backdoored it. And although even if we didn't generate it randomly, we aren't aware of any sort of flaws or stuff that we can do with it, we felt it was really important to remove any sort of doubt from that. So I mean, for those of you who are technical can take a look through it, but basically we then made sure that that parameter was generated in such a way that you can verify its randomness, so that there's no sort of thoughts of whether we backdoored it. Now because of the really last minute, this was like 15 days ago, we needed to give time for exchanges, pools and everything to update, so that's why we push the date from 23rd of July to 30th of July. And yeah, so just explaining why we did what we did. So just make sure to go to our download page, make sure that you're downloading from the GitHub, and it's 13.8.2. Now so that's that. Now if you take a look at our GitHub, you'll notice that we have become a lot more transparent about how we develop. We started putting in milestones so you can see what we're doing. So even if you take a look at our issues, it will show what we're working on, who's assigned to what. The only stuff that we wouldn't show here is stuff that we're developing in-house, for example with Lelantus, or stuff that isn't really quite ready yet. But most of the other development would be public, so you can always take a look at milestones, and this will show like what we're currently working on. Still in the midst of being populated, but we do intend to show how things are coming along, so that you don't have to ask us when this, when that, and everyone can see that development is available for everyone to see. And hopefully by being more transparent on GitHub, this would attract more outside third-party developers to contribute to our project as well. Now you can also see on our pull request, we do assign when it's like something that we're going to like incorporate, we do put like a tag as to which release that we think we're going to be in. Okay, of course, like don't take it as this is definitely going to happen. This is just more like an indication, and things obviously change. All right. You've also seen that there are new projects, Exodus, which is our smart token layer, and Zcoin core. There will be another one which deals with a GUI, which we will talk about later. Now, okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is that we are beginning to structure the development of our mobile app. And of course, we have a lot of mobile apps available, like, Trust Wallet, Konami, Edge, and what's the other one? Cobo Wallet, right? There's so many options available. So, but none of them actually do our privacy feature, which is what we're all about. Now, to do this is quite a huge task because, the cryptographic libraries have to be done, connected, and then you have to deal with JavaScript and all that stuff. Now, so we actually had a talk with Edge. So Edge is a pretty awesome wallet. They will a supported currency on one of the few currencies that's on the Edge wallet. It has already existing distribution. It has an iOS app, an Android app, and it's also open source. Now, the great thing about it is that although it doesn't support the privacy features of Sigma right now, they have expressed their willingness to work with us to integrate that in. Of course, we have to do all the hard work, but the benefit of working with Edge is that we don't have to redesign the whole front end. Generally, most of the stuff can be reused. The only stuff that we need to do is to incorporate all this basically Sigma functionality, which is still going to take quite some time. Now, what's the current status of it? We have actually formed a new team under Aram, which is comprised of about three people, and they will be working together to come up with a mobile app with Sigma support using Edge as a base. Of course, this may change later. We're still in the planning stage, and hopefully in the next week or so, we'll roughly have an estimate as to the different components that we need to build this mobile app. We've had many discussions over the past 2 weeks, and we're quite positive that we can get this in a reasonable amount of time. But yep, this thing isn't easy. Now, what's next? Because once Sigma's released, what are the stuff that we'll be working on? So one of the things that that has been really dragging on for a really long time is our new graphic interface. And what happened there was we had this developer that kept on saying that we were like 1 month away from deployment, and it turns out that the condition of the client was really bad, in the sense that the code was spaghetti code, and we kind of realized it a bit too late in. So what happened is that we got in a new developer who's been really helping us to refactor the whole thing really significantly, and we have now put this on a public repo, so you can take a look at the amount of commits just to show you the amount of work that has been put in the past 2 to 3 months. So just showing you that we are not playing around with this, and we expect refactoring to complete in another 1 week or so, and we should be able to have a very basic version now. So let me just show you. We've probably seen this before, but we had to rejig it for Sigma, so you can see all the new Sigma denominations receive. There's private send, public spend, and there's all the Z nodes there as well. Okay. There's some functionality that's still kind of missing, that we can't start Z nodes from the wallet yet, and the transaction list is a bit lagging if you have several thousands of transactions, but otherwise it works fine, and hopefully we can release these relatively soon, but we're quite excited about this. Okay, so what's next? The next thing we're going to be working on also is the mnemonic seed support. So how some of those most of these new wallets, they have like 12 seed phrase, 24 seed phrase, and that's still not even present in Bitcoin QT, but most modern wallets should have this feature. So we want to have that seed word support. We actually have like a crypto steel equivalent, which I'll show maybe at another time. But yeah, so we want to make it easy to back up your wallet. So all you need to do is back up your 12 words or 24 words, and what you do is that you get the entire wallet. You don't have to save your wallet.dat anymore. All your Zcoin mints, Sigma mints, and everything will be recorded. All your balances will be recorded, and you can just need to save that phrase in a safe place, which I think greatly improves the usability and security of the system. Now, on top of that, we also have announced long time ago in our roadmap that we want to get BIP 47 payment codes, and what that allows is so I think everyone is familiar with stealth addresses, or at least for those who use privacy coins. Now, the problem with using just one address that doesn't change is that it reviews your privacy. Everyone can just take a look and just basically see your whole transactions list, right? And in Bitcoin, generally is recommended every time you want to receive a new transaction, you create a new address. Now, reusable payment codes makes this a lot simpler, because every time you have to give a new address and manage all of this, it can be kind of messy and it reviews certain stuff, right? So instead of doing that, reusable payment codes work like stealth addresses in that you can give a static address and you can publish this address publicly. That means everyone can see this, and the great thing is that people can pay to it, but they wouldn't know when checking that particular address, they wouldn't be able to see your entire transaction history. It just appears as if it's gone to a new address. So this really improves privacy. It also simplifies a lot of things when you're dealing with the UI, because you don't have to keep on generating new addresses. And we have found a team that's willing to do this, and they estimate it should take about a month or so. So fingers crossed, that's something that's also starting pretty soon. Okay. All right, now let's move to the next thing. So I think you saw like a couple of weeks ago I posted like a chicken wing video with using the prompt pay system. So right now we're in the final testing of a Thai QR code system. This is just one of the images we've been preparing, and hopefully in the next few weeks we can release that and show it in action. We're really excited. I hope to go to Thailand soon to give it a go, and I should have a version to play with in the next few days as well. Right, now the next thing is that we have been expanding our research on Lelantus, and so the paper is complete. It's actually already all published on ePrint as well. We've gotten really good feedback from that. Monero has taken a very serious look at it, and we've been actually in touch with one of their top or lead researchers, Sarang, and he's given us really good feedback on that, and generally people really like the system. Of course, they're going to be using it in a different way, but they think that there is value in the system, which is very promising, given that this will be our next gen privacy protocol that will come after Sigma. Now, what we're working on currently is that although the proving times are quite low, and generally around 3 seconds or so, a proving time means when I'm creating a transaction it takes about 3 seconds. Obviously it would be better to reduce that to less than 1 second, especially when you're talking about mobile devices. Now we have managed to do that using something called Lelantus Plus, which is an expansion of our paper, which we hope to publish once we're ready, and it reduces proving time to less than a second, but it does come at a cost, and the cost is that proof sizes go up by actually almost double. So from 1.5 kilobytes it becomes 3 kilobytes, which is still okay, but it's a trade-off that we need to kind of think about. And verification time increases very slightly. So we're still evaluating whether this is a worthy trade-off, and we're still evaluating whether we can still reduce the proof sizes further, and this is just ongoing research. We are also exploring ways to improve direct anonymous payments. So with Lelantus we have the ability to be able to send from with Zcoin or Sigma, when you burn your coin, you have to bring it back to the base layer. Lelantus actually allows you to almost have a completely private transaction without having to even bring it back to the base layer. However, the way the current direct anonymous payments work, there is kind of I would say like an inconvenience rather than any sort of real privacy risk, is that when someone sends to you a direct anonymous payment, if you don't spend and remit it, the person that sent it to you knows when you have spent that coin. So basically, the person who sent to you the original coins may get certain data off you, and that's of course easily solved by spending it and reminting. But we feel that that kind of makes things complicated, and we want to keep things as simple as possible and reduce any sort of leakages. So we are also doing research on how to improve direct anonymous payments in Lelantus. Now, on the miner side, we have actually a new release. It's just basically some speed bumps, especially with the new RTX series. There's been stability improvements. So DJM has been working on that. There's also a new version of Zcoin, which is the AMD version, which was released 18 days ago, and it has quite competitive performance. So yeah, give it a go, give us some feedback, and yeah. Now in the next 1 week or so, I'll be heading to Las Vegas to Defcon, and Defcon is really interesting because it's the largest hackers conference in the world. It's not a blockchain conference. It's actually, it's just a hacker conference and all sorts of hackery things. And we were invited by Monero, who has actually a Monero village, to actually speak on Lelantus and our experience on handling with cryptographic flaws. So we will be there, from the 8th to the 12th. And we can, as you can see, we have a scheduled, I am talking on 11:30 on Sunday, and we also have a Zcoin station where you can ask questions about Zcoin, Lelantus, Sigma, Zerocoin, anything. And Aram and I will be going there. So we hope to see you guys there, and it'll be really exciting. This is my first time going to Defcon, and yeah. That's really good, and such an honor to be invited to be part of this great event in Las Vegas. Right, so the next thing we'll be dealing with is governance, and so we did mention that we should really start thinking about governance right now, because our funding ends at the end of around like September 2020. And we've seen, like, especially with Zcash, we've seen a lot of drama. That's even resulted in the fall of Ycash, and whether the zero cash or the electric coin company is truly independent, or what kind of funding do they require. And we're being really careful on this. Now, originally we actually wanted to give that power to allocate funding back to the users, right? To let users vote for it. And coins that do it are like Dash, Decred. They are the, I guess the people that are most known for doing it, and I think Decred system is particularly good. But it comes at a problem is that there's this new framework for investment contract analysis of digital assets that's issued by the US SEC. And it did actually talk about, if you take a look, like Decred, which is a really good coin, was delisted from Poloniex, right? And it was like a bit of a question mark. But if you take a look, there is some ideas. If you take a look, that if you are voting using masternodes or voting using coins, it can actually work against you. If you take a look at this part, it says that where a promoter, sponsor, or other third party provides essential managerial efforts that affect the success of the enterprise, which that means like allocation of funds, and investors reasonably expect to derive profit from this, then this prong of the test is met. That actually means that it would fail the Howey test, or rather it will meet the Howey test and become a security. Now, we did have a recent meeting with the SEC commissioner, which was really productive in Singapore. This SEC commissioner is from the US, is Commissioner Pierce, and she did say that, yeah, you know, she actually thinks that this is a genuine problem, and did recommend for us to engage a discussion with the SEC and maybe, you know, explore seeking a no action letter. We're still evaluating our options because we don't really know how the SEC would react, and we don't want to throw uncertainty. But the importance of this is that if we do get a no action letter, it means that it's really easy for institutions to invest in us because they're pretty sure that it's not a security. But at the same time, you know, we don't want to put unnecessary scrutiny on our project. But it is, I guess, a bit heartening at the same time that actually the US SEC is aware of Zcoin, and they're not Zcash. They are aware that Zcoin exists and what we do. So maybe it's worth speaking to them on that. So that's just something that we have to be really mindful when we're thinking about governance. Whether if we do things like that, it will make us into a security, which would effectively delist us from a lot of US exchanges. So that is a big risk. Okay, we're still thinking of ways to get around it, and hopefully we get some suggestions on the forums. Right now, other things in the pipeline, we have some exchange listings that we are pursuing, and we're submitting our forms, talking to the people. Nothing really confirmed yet. We actually have one pretty good new regional fiat pairing coming out. Hopefully we can announce that generally quite soon, and we're quite excited about that because, you know, we believe that for you know, cryptocurrency to be useful, you should be able to convert it directly into your home currency easily, and having a fiat pairing is really important to us. So yeah. Another, just a side note, Cryptofossil, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it that right, is actually Bittrex partner in Latin America, and they have just opened Zcoin deposits. So that's really good news. That means previously, although you could buy Zcoin, you couldn't really you had to only deposit Bitcoin then get your Zcoin. Now you can actually you know, sell Zcoin on Cryptofossil. So it's good. It has a Latin America support, and I think it's a pretty interesting growth area. Now, another thing that really pleasantly surprised me was we were looking for custody options for Cobo, and basically custody means that, you know, you have like, especially for institutional clients, they don't want to deal with all this, you know, the safe storage of large amounts of Zcoin. And we were looking around, we talked to several of the leaders, and one of the cool things is that we actually realized that we were already supported on Cobo, and Cobo is a pretty good thing. They actually dominate the Chinese exchange markets. Almost all exchanges that do have a third-party custody use Cobo, and they're run by the guys who do F2 Pool, which is one of the largest mining pools in the world. So they definitely do have the technical know-how. They have really good how to say coin support, and their fees and also their support is really top notch. So it's really good for we to be actually realize that, you know, if anyone wants to invest significant amounts of money, especially like institutional clients, there is this Cobo custody option available, and also exchanges can also add us if they are using Cobo custody as well. Now, we also spoke to them about integration to Cobo Vault, which is a really sexy wallet. It's not cheap, but it's really awesome. Like, take a look at that. It's really nice. And we have been told that this is the current list that they're supporting, and we are on the highest priority to be on their platform currently, and we're just working out the details. So one of the things I did request is that it needs to have masternode support. Currently, like for example, they have Dash, but you know, you can't host a master node off it, which kind of defeats the point. So yeah, we're talking to them and getting to make sure that our Z nodes are supported with the Cobo wallet, and hopefully we have another, like a full support hardware wallet option here, which is pretty solid as well. Now, in terms of merchant adoption, now payments, so thanks to you guys who actually also helped vote on our Twitter. There was this contest, and we beat Stella to be actually listed first on Now Payments. And Now Payments is kind of almost like if you use coin payments, you want to accept like cryptocurrencies on your website and have like conversions. This makes it really easy. Now, I really like Now Payments is because their transaction fees are a lot lower. Like for example, coin payments, they charge 0.5%. Here's 0%, and they actually make money more from the conversions. There's no storage fees, so it's pretty exciting to be added to this part of it. I think they're the same guys that do Change Now, so that's, yep, they basically are, you know, really supportive of us. Okay, now the next thing is that we actually have been really actively engaging our Chinese community. Now, last time we used to have like a Chinese community, but it kind of like fell by the wayside when our community manager didn't really have the time. Now we do have a dedicated community manager who's doing an awesome job, and if you can see right now, if you take a look here, there's 1, 2, 3, I think that's like 5 groups now on WeChat, so that's really good, and they're really active, so that's really awesome. So if you are Chinese and you want to use WeChat, so why we have 5 groups is because WeChat has this really unfortunate limit for 500 users per group, and that's why we have to make multiple, and it's growing really well. The other thing is, yeah, so this was just a part of the Now Payments as well. Now, on top of that, we also have started a Vietnamese community. We actually recently had AMA in Vietnam, and it had really good response. Like, a lot of people asked us a lot of really smart questions, and I was like, hey, you know, we really need to get into the Vietnamese community. And as such, where's Zcoin? If you take a look, just in this is just like 1 week old, and we already have 440 members, and for a regional place, this is pretty good, and it's all in Vietnamese language, so I don't quite understand what's going on. But yeah, we have a dedicated community manager there, and the Vietnamese community is growing a lot. Right. Now, something fun for those of you in West Malaysia, if you see, Boozeat is kind of a website which actually delivers booze to you, to your doorstep. And if you buy any wines and spirits, you get a free wine, and you can actually like pay with it using Zcoin. So just want to show you, like, this is quite cool. Okay, let's say checkout, and if you take a look, there's a payment method, Zcoin there. So yeah, make sure that if you're in West Malaysia, do give this a try. I think it's their prices are really reasonable, and when you get the free wine, that's even better. All right, so yeah, that's a little fun thing. The last thing that I want to talk about is PIP, which is this private instant payments. Yeah, here we go. And basically, it's about having an app and also this sort of checkout function that allows you to do W3C payments using privately. That means you don't have to give any of your details, and this is quite an interesting solution. So there is a current contest right now on Twitter, and we are currently in 3rd place behind Cloak and Digibyte. And I really would like to get on that. I think we actually caught up, but I have to double check. Yeah. So as you see, we're not that far behind, and I would really like to win this listing contest. So all you need to do is actually just go to the main post. Yep, retweet, follow PIP Wallet, and then after that tag tag Zcoin official in one of the replies here. So that's all you have to do. I hope we can win this. But if not, we'll explore other ways as well. So I guess that's it from me. I'm really excited to the Sigma update tomorrow, and we have been working really hard and we're pretty tired, and hopefully everything goes smooth and we can continue and enabling privacy on Zcoin again. So I hope the rest of you have a great day tomorrow and stay Zcoiny. Thank you.